मैं शायद ये वीडियो बना नहीं रहा होता अगर मुझे ये दो चीजें मालूम नहीं होती। पहली चीज कि मुझे पता है कि कैट एज एन एग्जाम इज नॉट एन एग्जाम लाइक अ जेईई और अ नीट wherein you need to learn a lot of things and you need to eventually go there and remember them and do your thing in the paper. It's not like that. It's a very creative exam. It's an exam of application and of smartness. And the second thing, had I not experienced something similar, that in my first attempt at CAT I'd only scored a 84 percentile, but just 8 weeks after that in my ZAT attempt I had scored a 98.3 percentile, got an XLRI call. So while I thought that okay, this year is done with and I don't know the concept, मुझे नहीं आता है, in the very next exam just a few weeks apart from that I scored very well. अगर ये दो चीजें मुझे पता ना होती या मेरे साथ नहीं हुई होती, मैं ये वीडियो बनाने की हिमाकत कभी करता नहीं. But because I'm coming from that standpoint, what I just informed you, I can make this. If you don't know me yet, I am Darpan Saxena, an MBA graduate from IIM Udaipur. I have been the MBA Product Head at Career Launcher. I'm the founder of Freedom and I help MBA students create fulfilling careers without depending on placements. Point which I'm trying to make in this video, and by the end of this video you'll actually know that okay, what you've got to do if you're feeling stuck. The point which I'm trying to make is that it's not over yet. It's not over yet. If you know that yes, you've been even somewhat honest with your prep, probably there is something which you can take out of it and still make something out of it in your CAT. How do you really make good use of whatever 30 days to CAT which you have and get a good percentile in it? There'll be 3 broad points which I will be speaking about. ज़्यादा लंबी वीडियो नहीं होगी, 3 points हैं. Last point में I will be giving you the full breakdown of what are the things which you need to do, but the first 2 points are very important for me to say, and I call this framework the ACE framework. And this does not even, it's not that this ACE framework of mine applies only when you have 4 weeks to CAT. No, it applies to whenever you are feeling low and stuck about it. This framework would remind you that yes, you can ace CAT truly. The first thing, the A, it's all about acceptance. I want you to immediately after this video and also in the comments, I would ask you what you need to do. You need to get into the mode of acceptance, that you need to tell yourself that okay, it's fine, I'm scoring a 60 or a 70 percentile in CAT, I understand that, but how about I flip the switch? How about I flip the narrative in my head? I will tell myself that wait a minute, this is what my story is going to be, that you know what, that guy who was scoring a 65 75 percentile in his marks just few weeks away from CAT, in CAT that guy went on and scored a 98 percentile. How about that is what is going to be my story about? How cool will be that? Every time you reach zero in your life, it's only an opportunity to start all over again. अभी बहुत philosophical sound करेगा, but I've had certain places wherein I have thought like this and it has helped me really re-emerge from it really well. So the thing is, and this works always, please tell yourself that this is a part of my story, that I was not scoring well, and then I will always tell everybody after this, and I'll always tell my friends and my family and my kids maybe that you know what यार, एक समय था 70-75 आते थे मेरे, और वो मैंने लास्ट कुछ 2-3 हफ्ते में मैंने कुछ करा, ऐसे करा, and obviously some things worked, some things happened, I scored very well. It might sound magical, but then here is where you need to know my story also a bit in this. I've told you already, in CAT I was scoring a 84 percentile in my first attempt, and just few weeks after that in ZAT I scored a 98.3 percentile. I got an XLRI call, interview, this thing. Now what happened here? 84 percentile अगर मेरे CAT में आए थे, मैं आज with this level of understanding which I have about CAT, I can tell you very well, not only was I weak in terms of the paper attempt strategy, I was also weak in terms of my concepts. मुझे दोनों ही नहीं आते थे, तभी मेरे ये आए कम. एक तो ये होता है कि हाँ कि मतलब कि इसको आता है but he does not know how to attempt. It's not that. I was genuinely weak in that. But 8 weeks after that, I took my average understanding of the concepts and included some attempt strategy with it to score really well in that. So this can happen. That is that. Now the second point which I want to talk to you about, the ACE framework which I have, is cognizance. अब cognizance किस चीज का लेना है तुम्हें? दो चीजों का लेना है. Cognizance one of what your problems are currently, and the second thing, cognizance of what where you want to go eventually through your CAT. Now this is very important. You have to hear me out for this. The first point is take cognizance of your prep. A lot of times when students speak to me in my one-to-one interactions, and even the IITians and the NITians and those top bright guys which you would think are the best minds out there or whatever, even they come to me and they say it's a CAT prep is going horrible. We are not doing very well in our mocks and this is bad and that is bad. I told them, and I always tell them, please pause. I want you to see it section by section, and here is my advice to you as well. Please sit down and look at your problem section by section. Stop talking in broad terminology कि CAT prep ही अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, पूरे mocks मेरे खराब चल रहे हैं and मुझे कुछ नहीं आता, ऐसे बात नहीं करेंगे. Because if you're genuinely planning to be a future business leader, you need to start speaking in very specifics. That okay, wait a minute, अगर मेरे सब sections भी खराब हैं, let me crystallize it into problem statements for each section. कि wait a minute, मेरे VRC में क्या problem? VRC में ये problem है that okay, मैं शायद 24 questions attempt करने का try कर नहीं रहा हूँ. My overall attempts in VRC are around 14 or 15 questions. So in VARC, my problem predominantly is the attempts. Or it could be for you that hey, while yes, my speed is good, I am attempting a lot, I am attempting anywhere upwards of 18 to 19 to 20 questions, but my accuracy is very bad. So know your problem statements. Now is the time. By the end of this video, I would want you to comment on the video for each section, or at least for the 1 or 2 sections where you're having problems, that what is the problem statements. Broad चीजें मत बोला करो कि यार मैं VARC is weak. What you feed to your mind is actually going to happen. Your VRC is not weak. You cannot attempt more because you're not attempting more, और accuracy वैसे भी VRC में बहुत नहीं होती है, इसलिए तुम्हारे marks नहीं आते हैं. The only time you'll realize what the problem is, you will be able to work on it. I will be able to help you with it. It's that's the only way it works. Same way, if it's about quant, please don't say I am weak in quant. No, don't say it like that. Again, how can you crystallize it into more specific statements which are more actionable statements? That okay, probably you could say that okay, I am only able to attempt not more than 5 questions in quant. Again, then think through it. Am I able to see all the questions in quant? क्या मैं quant के सारे question देख पाता भी हूँ? अगर नहीं तो then probably I need to change my strategy so that I can at least look at all the questions of quant and pick the easier questions. Now suddenly if you use my round 1, round 2 and round 3 strategy, you will realize that you would have spent the initial minutes of the quant section to spot which questions to attempt, and naturally your number of attempts in quant will move from a 5 or 6 to a 10 or a 12, because now you have reduced the quant का section to those 10-12 questions, and now you know कि अब मुझे और कुछ नहीं attempt करना है. It is just these questions. Again, if you want to know more about this particular strategy which I've spoken about, I would link the video also so that you can see that video, because I have explained that in it. Or probably you might say in quant that okay, in quant my problem is that I'm attempting a lot of questions but my accuracy is poor. Now if your accuracy is poor, then most likely you're making some sort of a solving mistake, a calculation thing, because if you're getting this feeling from inside कि हाँ मुझे ये आता है सवाल and that is why you are attempting it, that somewhere means कि conceptual तो तुम मतलब तो तुम्हें होगा शायद उसके अंडरस्टैंडिंग, या फिर हो सकता है वो भी तो तुम्हारे हो weak. Whatever it is, you have to go back into your previous mocks and check what is the problem. A similar problem could be DILR. In DILR, that you know it for a fact that if you're not attempting 2 sets in DILR, there is a problem. Now why is that happening? Again, ask yourself a why. It could be because my speed is slow, it could be because I have not had the exposure to enough number of DILR sets. When you crystallize it to your normal problem statement, you will understand that okay, what is my actionable. So from this point onward, you'll stop saying that my mock prep is bad or my cat prep is bad. Please give me, or even if you were to book a one-to-one interaction with me and speak to me, I want you to be able to speak in crystallized statements. That's that. And the third part, my dear friends, is where you will emerge, because it's called emerge, and it's a very simple thing that now once you have the actionables, you would work on them. ये बड़ी बेसिक सी चीज साउंड कर रही होगी कि हाँ वहां से मिल गए actionables, अब यहाँ पे एक्शन करो. अब देखो क्या क्या हो सकता है. I'll give you a few things section by section which you might have to do. In quant, you have to get to a point wherein तुम हर टॉपिक के previous year CAT questions कर लो कुछ अभी भी. I'm saying previous year 50 of each you can do. You would at least have seen quite a large surface area of the CAT quant syllabus. A lot of these playlists with you watch on YouTube and you appreciate, वहां पे भी क्या ही हो रहा है, वहां पे भी यही same चीज हो रही है, that they are taking some questions and they are solving it in front of you, and you are actually appreciating that, because that is what you are supposed to do also. Get an exposure to questions. That is for quant. For quant, one more thing I would suggest, please now go back to your previous mocks also. Find the time to go back to your previous mocks and resolve them and remember it कि ये question मैंने ऐसे solve करा था. That's it. In quant, the मूल mantra right now is that your learning should happen through your mocks. In DILR, I would again say it, do not do anything new. If I were you, if I was badly stuck in DILR, all I would do is whatever 6, 10, 12, 15 mocks I have been able to attempt up till now, I would just go back and redo the DILR sections of them, and I will watch how the instructors have solved it. I would watch that and I would solve it again. It's not that okay, I solved it, मुझसे solve नहीं हुआ, अब मैंने वो देख ली वीडियो, हाँ अब मुझे लग रहा है हो गया. नहीं, वीडियो देख के भी बहुत दफा आपको ये सब फील होता है कि मुझे आ गया है, but you have to solve it again. That's the only exercise which you need to do. Obviously, I'm not saying that stop attempting mocks. You have to take mocks. In VARC, which is the most difficult to improve, अगर अंग्रेजी वीक है तो वो वीक है, फिर वहाँ पे फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. अगर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन वीक है तो वीक है. Your best bet which you can do is please go to the YouTube channel of Jijo, watch some 4 or 5 videos on how he reads an RC, how he solves a PJ and all of those things, and try to emulate that in your mocks. Again, go back to your previous mocks which you have attempted. If you would have broadly understood it, मैं आपसे कहना क्या चाह रहा हूँ? मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ, please focus on what you know already. That's that. Go back to the mocks which you have solved. One big mistake which you might make is that, okay, I've seen the sir solve it, and hence I think now I know how to solve it. You would be surprised next morning when you will come back to solve the same question, you would not be able to. Because just watching gives us a feeling of progress. It's not. अगर देख भी लोगे उस सेट को फिर से सॉल्व करो जाए. तुम अगर सिर्फ इतना भी कर लोगे, प्रीवियस मॉक्स को देख के सॉल्व करके दोबारा सुबह उठ के दोबारा सॉल्व कर लोगे और वैसे सीख लोगे across all 3 sections, you would be in great state. If there's anything specific which you want me to speak about on this, let me know in the comments, because right now I don't think that there is anything specific which I can speak to you which would help you. The only thing which will help you is consolidation. Consolidate your prep at this point of time. However generic it might sound, this is the thing which you have got. It'll help you. It helped me. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.